Hello everyone, hope you're doing good and welcome back to my channel. This is the part 2 of the DP2 or 3 real exam question series, and you can go and check out part 1 in my channel. So in part 1 we have already explained you like what is DP2 or 3 certification and who are the target audience for the certification. That is, if you're a data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, and or you aspire to be one of them, then definitely the certification is for you. We have already discussed those details and what is the pattern of the exam and what is the price of the exam, how to schedule the exam. All those details are discussed in the first part 1 video. You may go and check that out if you have not done so. And this is the part 2 video of it. In this particular video, we'll be discussing the first 5 questions of the DP203 real exam question series. So this is the first question that we have. Let us quickly go through it. So it says that you have a table in Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL tool. The table was created by using the following transact SQL statement. So this is the basically the statement in which they have used to create the table. So from the statement we can see that what are the columns and what are the various data types for it, and if they can be null or not null, and what is the identity column. Let's see the next part of the question. You need to alter the table to meet the following requirements. Okay, ensure that users can identify the current manager of employees, support creating an employee reporting hierarchy for your entire company, provide fast lookup of the manager's attributes such as name and job title. Which column should you add to the table? Okay, we have four options. You can go through them, but let me go through data type because that is what is relevant to this question. First one is a small int, again a small int, integer, and a varchar. Okay, so the answer to this particular question is C. Okay, now let's understand why this is the answer. First of all, whenever you see identity here mentioned like that, it basically refers to the surrogate key. Okay, so what is the surrogate key? This term you will find always whenever you study the data engineering topics. Okay, what is surrogate key? So basically in this case this is the the primary key basically. Okay, so though they have mentioned it is it cannot be null. Okay, as simple as that. It will be auto populated. First of all, you don't have to supply that, and it will be not null. Okay, always. So now coming to why we are not choosing options like A, B, or D. Okay, so for example, see, they have mentioned manager employee ID. That can be a possible answer, but see the data type. See, for example, if I have an employee and I have to populate its employee ID, that means employee ID of the manager should be that is, if I have the manager's employee ID, then it should be employee ID, right? For example, see, they have mentioned here a small int, but the employee ID is going to be integer, that is C. The manager is also employee, right? It will also have employee ID. So basically the manager's employee ID will be uh, the manager employee ID for the employees for whom he is the manager, right? But the data types are not matching. This is the integer, this is small int, and the same scenario comes here also. The manager employee key, it should have been integer, but they have mentioned it as a small int. So basically, see, try to understand. They are asking us for the condition. One of the condition is we should be able to create a employee reporting hierarchy. That means from the manager's employee ID, that is the column which we are going to add, we should be in a position to derive the details of the manager. That's what they are saying. Provide fast lookup for the manager's attributes. Okay, and create a reporting hierarchy. Now coming to the option D here, see, if we include a manager name attribute, but just try to understand for normal employees how we are storing the name. We are storing two different columns, first name and last name. But here they are saying simply that we should have a you know manager name, and at the same time these conditions, uh, see, they have varchar 100, but here they're saying varchar 200. So just by a manager name, will it be possible for us to report? Obviously no, because see, they have two different columns for it. We will have to add them together, concatenate them, and then we will have to use them, which is they have not mentioned anything like that. So see, first of all, coming to the see, always the reporting should be based on the surrogate key, because that is something which will auto populated and the most reliable info. Okay, as simple as that. Because a manager id may not be always appropriate, because let us say if the employee has, see, if you learn these topics, the idea here is employee id is coming from the source system. Okay, it's not a surrogate key. It can be alternate key, it's not surrogate key. So for this particular question, C is the most appropriate answer. Others, for example, the option D, they are totally ruled out because the first name and last name are stored in different columns. So if you have a manager name as such in a single column, it will not be helpful for fast lookup and will not be helpful for reporting as well. Okay, and coming to the A and B options, they're using small int here, which is something which is not appropriate. It should have been the same as that of the employee ID and the employee key here. Okay, because manager also employee, he will also, that should be matching. Okay, as simple as that. And whenever you have such a conditions here, always remember it's always better to use the identity column. Okay, because that is the going to a surrogate key of this particular table. So the answer in this question will be C. Okay, now coming to the next question. This we have two variations of the same question. We'll see them, but let's see what the question is. You have an Azure Synapse Analytics workspace, okay, named My Workspace that contains an Apache Spark database named MyTestDB. You run the following commands in an Azure Synapse Analytics Spark pool in My Workspace. So these are the commands basically. In the create table command, it basically shows the various column names and the data types. Okay, using Parquet. You then use Spark to insert a row into mytaskdb.myParquet table. The row contains the following data. The employee name, the employee ID, and the employee start date. These are the wage data it has. 1 minute later, you execute the following query from a serverless SQL pool in my workspace. Uh, that is also fine. And yeah, this is the query basically. Select employee ID from this thing where a name equal to Alice. What will be the return by the query? What will the output of the query? That's what they're trying to see. So take a moment, pause the video, again look at the question, and then let us see what could be the answer. So as you might have seen, I have highlighted here. See, first of all, there is no column named name. Okay, it should be have been employee name. So when you run this query, the most probable output which you will get is that there is no column named name. Okay, as simple as that. So the most probable answer will be a error. Okay, which I have mentioned here. Now coming to the second part of this question, if you try to see here, uh, see while creating the table, what the database name we are giving, mytestdb dot. Okay, mytestdb is the database name, or you can call it as a schema name. Okay, see the create table statement. Here we are mentioning mytestdb. Okay, but while querying, what we are doing, mytestdb dot dbo. That is the schema name is not matching in this case. Okay, see mytestdb should have, so it's what we are creating on, and that should be the one which we should be querying, right? But what we are querying on mytestdb dot dbo. Okay, this is again a second condition. Okay, this is the second reason why we are definitely likely to get an error. Okay, both are valid reasons. First of all, there is no column named name. That is the first thing. But if you could get a twist in this question, okay, that is everything is fine. Maybe the name is also existing. Okay, you may have employee name also here, but remember the schema does not exist here. They are creating mytestdb schema, but here we are having mytestdb.dbu. Both are different schemas. Okay, so for both these scenarios, the answer is going to be error. Okay, I hope you would have understood this. And let us go to the next question now. So yeah, this question is drag and drop kind of question. You will obviously get some of the questions which you will have to drag and drop. It may be the question may ask you to arrange the answer in a correct sequence or select some of the options by dragging, as simple as that. So let us see what the question is. You have a table named sales fact. See, whenever you see the word fact, you have to understand that it's going to be a fact table. The property, what are the properties of fact table, by the way? Fact table can be, very huge, and the distribution of it, okay, it's always should be a hash distribution, as simple as that. These are the two things which comes to my mind whenever I see the fact word keyword, okay. So you have a table named sales fact in an enterprise data warehouse in Azure Synapse Analytics. Sales fact contains sales data from the past 36 months and has the following characteristics: is partitioned by month, contains 1 billion rows, has clustered column store indexes. Okay. At the beginning of each month, you need to remove data from the sales fact that is older than 36 months. Okay. At the beginning of each month, we'll have to remove the data on the table that is older than 36 months as quickly as possible. Which three actions? See, as I mentioned in the part one also, they will always ask you the number. Okay. For example, you have to select three options from this. So if you don't select three, you it will not be considered that you have answered the question, as simple as that. So, which three actions should you perform in sequence in a stored procedure? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in the correct order. Okay, so these are some of the actions given to us. Switch the partition containing the stale data from sales fact to sales fact work. Truncate the partition containing the stale data. Drop the sales fact work table. Create an empty table named sales fact underscore work that has the same schema as sales fact. Execute a drill statement where the value in the date column is more than 36 months ago. Copy the data to a new table by using create table as select. Remember, even if you're able to solve the question, that is address the scenario in a single action, but still you will have to select three actions. Okay, that is what is the criteria, right? So if you go by this, if you see, there can be many solutions, but remember, you will have to select a solution which could be accommodated in three actions. So this is the best possible solution which I have could find. Okay, what are the solution? Create an empty table named sales fact underscore work that has the same schema as sales fact. Switch the partitions. Remember, whenever you talk of partitions, there is always an option of switching them, right? this concept, though in the current material of the DB203 Microsoft Learn portal, you will not find this concept. But yeah, previously this concept was there, and still you can get questions from this concept. Okay, switch the partition containing the sale data from sales fact to sales fact work, and drop the sales fact work table. So these are the correct three answers from the actions. Okay, now coming to the last question for this particular video. You have files and folders in Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 from an Azure Synapse workspace as shown in the following exhibit. Okay, so this is the hierarchy, or you can call it the structure in which the data is arranged. You create an external table named external table that has location equal to top folder. Okay, so basically they are referring to the first folder which they have mentioned here. Okay, when you execute, that is when you query external table by using Azure Synapse Analytics ASA serverless SQL pool, which files are returned. Okay, so they have given some of the options here. So if you have to understand the answer over this, I have already so yeah, we will have to go to this. Okay, so this is the 2 DB203 Microsoft Learn portal. Okay, go to the second module of it. In the second module, okay, yeah, okay, we'll have to open this. Okay, query files using serverless SQL pool. In this you will see this. Okay, what are the various ways in which we do that? Okay, this is the basically the path, and finally we are giving a file name. Okay, if you give a file name .csv, only that particular file will be selected. Okay, if you give files star.csv, that is all CSV files which have a name starting with file will be selected. Now coming to this part, this is the part relevant to our question. If you give a star, okay, all files in the folder will be selected. Okay, if you don't give anything, still it will consider that you are selecting all files in that folder. Okay, so just understand this. And now see the difference between this and this. Okay, this and this. If you give a double star, what will happen? All files in the files folder and recursively subfolder will be selected. But if you don't give double star, all files in the files folder will be selected. This is the files folder. Only files in present in this particular folder will be selected. Folders will not be selected. Okay, so coming back to our question, see in this case, under the top folder we have only two files. Okay, that is file1.csv and file4.csv. After that we have two more folders, and inside those folders some more files are there. But since we are not giving double star here, so file2 and file3 will not be selected. Okay, see only the file1 and file4 will be selected. So if you see the answer is file1.csv and file4.csv. If you have to see, if the question is, if you have to select all the files, what should you give? It should have been top folder slash star star. You have to give 2 stars. Okay, if you want to recursively go inside the folders and select all the files, then you should have been giving double star. But since double star we are not giving, that means we are selecting only the files present in the given folder. Okay, so what are the files given in present in the top folder? It should be file1.csv and file4.csv. So that is what is the answer. So in today's video, we have covered 5 questions, and in the next video, we'll be bringing another 5 questions. So yeah, friends, that was all for today. If you have any doubts, please do comment below. We can discuss it further. Okay. And it takes a lot of efforts to bring the required documentation in front of you for all the questions. So please do consider subscribing to my channel. It really gives a lot of motivation. And in total, we are planning to bring around 200 plus questions. So please support us. And yeah, we can discuss if you have any questions. Okay. Thanks a lot.